Well, I think we can all agree that advertising in the past has made its share of mistakes. But the point surely is, are we still making mistakes, or are we making new mistakes?
Well, I do see some new stereotypes emerging, or certain traps that it's easy to fall into. One, I guess, is the tokenism. Now there's often a woman appearing somewhere in an ad that might have just been a male ad.
I do think there are sometimes still problems that come with the change. For instance, one supposes that there are women who work and women who don't work. That's a popular way of phrasing the difference. But in fact, that's not a woman's way of phrasing it. All women work.
Less than 3 years ago, when I went to Working Woman magazine, it was possible to talk about a working woman market, to talk about it believing it, both to advertisers and to ourselves, and to use it as some kind of a target when we edited the magazine. It's not possible any longer.
Women are portrayed as victims, and they were perhaps victimized by the ring around the collar.
It's a work of art. It really looks like you, honey.
Not quite. I didn't draw your ring around the collar. You've got ring around the collar.
Those dirty rings.
We have run into lots of problems by having a feeling of distance and perhaps even of condescension, and sometimes a little contempt.
I am a woman. I am so many things. I am gentle, loving, wise. I am wild.
What's glamorous to one is tacky to someone else. I think there are ways in which women are too easily cast as needing help, whether it's trying to sell them financial advice or trying to sell them any product.
Oh, I love my life, but it is complicated.
A young woman comes on, and as the commercial goes along, it becomes apparent that she is the vice president of the company. And she's going to sit down with her business publication and read it. She's cast wrong.
A lot of people think that the Wall Street Journal will help a man get ahead in business. It can. The Wall Street Journal will tell a man every business day what is happening in business, here and everywhere around the world. It can give you information, insights, and facts that you can get nowhere else. The Wall Street Journal has the world's largest staff of business news experts. Their job is to find anything that can affect you, your company, and your future, and report it to you. The Wall Street Journal delivers to you every business day all the business news you need, when you need it. Will that help a businessman get ahead? It can. And a businesswoman. Congratulations, TJ.
Thank you.
Totally unrealistic. She's 2 years old. She's sitting at the boardroom. She has so much lip gloss on that you cannot believe that a serious word could ever emerge from this mouth anyway. I mean, what has been presented to us as fantasy in the past has been that if you use this particular kind of product, a man will come along with it. This doesn't strike me as truth in advertising.
Now, is it possible, do you think, that we're making the mistake of making our product maybe too relevant to the working woman that we're talking about? Should we perhaps just put the product there, make it available, and let her find it?
And we find that our readers are very happy with automotive advertising that is just directed to, look, this is a good machine and here's why it works. The same thing is true of appliances, insurance, stock brokerage firms.
I think what we've discovered there was first that the ads that were intended for human beings, that is for men, not for people who required an adjective, women people, worked much better. So the ads that were directed by a foreign car manufacturer, for instance, that simply showed the product and said something about the product and didn't show any person using that product at all, but focused on that, always did very, very well.
You know, the thing that worries me about all this is that maybe by correcting the mistake that we've made of the old female stereotypes, we're making a mistake of a new stereotype, the male neurotic stereotype. Is that a possibility?
As the dominant group thinks, they sort of say to themselves, oh, suppose they do to us what for all these years we've been doing to them. It was a problem with racial justice movements that a fear and a guilt, you know, that produced a fear of role reversal. But that isn't what women want, and it isn't what what is happening.
I think that it's time to market detergents and diapers to men, because really competent young women are not going to take on somebody for whom they are going to have to cook, iron, clean. Why should they? That men, too, have too many options.
Well, do you think that there's any risk that by putting all this attention on the new woman, the working woman, that we could alienate the woman who does not choose at this point in time to join the ranks of the employed woman, the woman on the payroll, as somebody put it? Are we getting that kind of backlash, or is it a possibility? Does she feel that she's exploited now, not just by us mere males, but by her own sisters?
There are people around the country who feel that the phrase executive woman is a four-letter word.
There's a backlash to unrealistic advertising, that presents the life of the woman who earns a salary in the workforce as utterly glamorous. But I would say that backlash also exists among the people who earn that salary.
Can you give us any advice as advertisers? What should we be doing now?
I think that there has to be a way to show the homemaker as someone who's providing valuable, doing valuable work and enjoying it. And I don't think that it has to be depicted in an antipathetic way.
The 80% of women who work in this country work in low-paying, low-status, dead-end jobs. I would suspect that in many ways they can be reached with exactly the same kinds of advertising that they always have been reached with.
It also, I might add, gives us terminal gratitude. You know, if you if you express faith in us and offer a little change to show men with children.
I don't really see anything wrong in depicting very beautiful and glamorous women in very beautiful and glamorous situations.
We would like to use you as a consumer report. We haven't got time to shop, to compare. We need to be able to trust you.
Well, is there a way to show women who are working and women who are at home together in some kind of situation?
Well, I think that all women, like all men, have fantasies, and that to see it really realistically is, you know, almost more than any of us can bear. It's like looking in the mirror. I find they read, too. They will read an informative ad. They don't have to be brushed off with a catchy slogan and nothing more. I think it's unfortunate for the women who are still waiting and they're thinking Prince Charming's going to come and take care of the whole thing. I think there are 26 million women in this country who are in the position of becoming, possibly, probably, displaced homemakers. And that is unfortunate.
So advertising really is doing them no favors to go on encouraging them to think that that is the norm.
No favors at all. None.